Hello, I'm Ken Wells from KW Autos, and today we're going to talk you through a couple of basic checks that you should do in readiness for winter. On most modern day vehicles, they are fitted with yellow caps to indicate the items that you should be checking as a driver. These should be done on a weekly basis, and coming up to winter we check the antifreeze, because obviously we don't want the vehicle to freeze up during the winter. Brake fluid levels, because if you've got a low level it would indicate that you've got pad wear or a leak, so must be checked on a regular basis. Probably most important is your oil check. Your engine oil is imperative, and you'll see that you have a minimum and maximum mark, which is indicated by a notch at the maximum mark and a smaller notch at the minimum mark. It should always be run to maximum, whether it's cold or hot. You should check the engine cold, and this will give you an indication. And again, as I say, regular oil changes will keep that engine running to optimum performance. But again, these are all marked with yellow indicators. The only one that's an exception is this one, which is a blue one, which is your screen wash, which in winter months you should put an additive in there to stop it freezing up. So hopefully on a cold morning you'll still be able to clear your screen. Regular maintenance is always a benefit, and it will keep your engine running that bit smoother. Part of the checks you should be doing on a regular basis, certainly weekly if not more, in adverse weather conditions and night driving, is your lights should be fully functional in order to be seen and to see. Indicators, side lights, dip beam, main beam, fog lights for those adverse weather conditions. All should be fully functioning, front and rear of the vehicle, and as I say, regularly checked. If you can't do this yourself, pop in and see us and we'll gladly do a free light check for you. Having checked the front lights of the vehicle, you need to check your rear lights. So as well as seeing where you're going, you need to be seen. And with dark winter nights coming on, these need to be fully functional. It's also a legal requirement to have all your lights in working order. Now we're going to take a look at the four most important parts of your vehicle, which are your four tyres. They keep you in contact with the road, and the average tyre connection with the road is a man's size 8 shoe. So that's all. So it's imperative you make sure they're in the best condition possible. And these are the tools you're going to need to check your vehicle. One, to make them secure, is a torque wrench or a wheel brace, tyre pressure gauge and a tyre depth gauge. The legal limit is 1.6mm. Firstly, start by checking your tyre for any visible damage. You're looking for curb damage, any nails or debris you may have picked up in the road. Right, we would use a tyre depth gauge to measure the depth of tread, and it's well to remember, the better the tread, the better the road holding. In the absence of a tyre depth gauge, there are wear marks on the tyre which are set at 1.6mm, which is the legal limit for the UK market. Do this at 3 points of the tyre, taking in the width of the tyre to make sure that the tread is even and worn evenly across the whole circumference of the tyre and the width of the tyre. You would then check your tyre pressures, again using a gauge. Most garages where you fill up will have a tyre gauge, or you can buy one of these fairly inexpensively, and make sure that they are inflated to the manufacturer's recommendation. Most vehicles will be around 30 psi, but again, check your handbook within the vehicle or go to your local garage who will quite happily check them for you. Finally, the other thing you should be doing is making sure that the wheel nuts are tight and secure. And this is done, in this case, with a torque wrench, but most people will have a wheel brace with the vehicle. You should check that these are operational. Should you have a puncture on the side of the road, you'll need these in order to change your wheel. And this is done quite simply, in this case, with a torque wrench, which should click to say that the vehicle's secure and the wheel nut is secure. This is a vehicle manufacturer's supplied wheel brace, which will do the job, but may give you a little bit of trouble getting the wheel nuts undone if they haven't been done for a while. There are some issues over whether you can get enough leverage to tighten them well enough, and for a small cost you could go to your local accessory shop and buy an extendable handle one, which, as you can see, is substantially larger. It will give you better leverage, better torque, and then when you've changed your wheel, go along to your local garage and they will use a correct torque wrench set to the correct settings for your vehicle, which will then tighten them to manufacturer's spec. I hope you found our few tips helpful. If you have any doubts at all, come along and see us and we will do a free winter health check for you at KW Autos.